everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Beyond Authentic Health, where we are documenting our weight loss journey
and beyond.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Rufus.
And this video is an extra helping video. Now, it's not the one we were planning to get up today, is it? Or,
no.
So
nope.
As you're watching this, it's Friday. We're actually filming it on Thursday. So for us, it's the 28th. When you're watching this, it goes live on the 29th. But we have got another video that we've filmed that I was going to put up for tomorrow. But we're going to delay that one by a week.
Yeah. Because
this video, you've seen the title. This video is very much linked to two videos that we've watched and thoroughly enjoyed by Byron the Vegan Loser and Jane Day Slimming World. If you haven't seen either of those two YouTubers, they are linked on our channel page. If you scroll down, go to our main channel page on YouTube, just scroll down a little bit. There's a whole featured channel section. They're both in there. I think I've got, I won't say all, but most of the Slimming World YouTubers that we follow are all linked in there. So go and check that out. So then, usually, Rufus, an extra helping is where we discuss a weight loss topic that's something that's doing the rounds at the moment, or something that we want to talk about. But today it's a bit different, isn't it?
I'm saying it's not always related about food either, so there's many things. Yeah,
so do check that out. There's a playlist. Yeah. But today's video is very much on that 5 things I hate about Slimming World tag. Now, I did text Jane earlier and say, we loved your video, we're going to go and film one. Yeah. But we're struggling to keep it to 5. And Jane said the most amazing thing. She said, well, there's 2 of you. Yeah. Why don't you do 5 each? I was like, perfect. Perfect. If you're a regular on this channel, you know how much I like a good old moan. I am a proper middle-aged English woman when it comes down to having a good old moan. There's nothing better than standing in a queue waiting for something and having a good old moan fest. Yes. Love it. Love it. Right then. So we've got our 5 different things that we hate the most about Slimming World. Now, we are going to film 5 things we love about Slimming World, and again we've got more than 10 between us easily on that as well. So that video will come up at some point soon. We're going to go from the least worst to our absolute biggest hate. So if you're watching this, you want to stay through, because it will get progressive. We're going to get progressively more triggered as we go down, I bet. Right then, so Rufus, what is your, in 5th position, what is your least but most hated of your top 5?
So target. So for me, that's like when I set my target weight, what should that target weight be? And I know it's personal for everybody, but I still think, you know, I am at the moment just over 17 stone, and I could go, oh, do you know what? I think all I want to do is now get to 17 stone exactly, and then I'm going to be at target. The likelihood is that I'm not going to stick. I'm eating healthier, but the likelihood is that I'm not probably for me in my healthy range, and I know that. But it just means I no longer have to pay Slimming World anything, and I can just, you can set your own target. And I still think that there should be, it's a bit blurred, kind of like, you know, being able to set your own. I still think you need to sort of be somewhere in your healthier range to set the target.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I do know it's difficult though, because what do you use to set that target? If you consider BMIs, we both follow people on Slimming World. We both watch people on YouTube that are bodybuilders and things, and their BMI is considered obese.
A lot
just
different,
because they weigh a lot, they're dense for their height. So, like, where would you set it then? Would you use BMI? Would you use, like, how could they do that?
I know, like, say, when you look in the books on Slimming World, it says in the back the lowest weight that my target could be.
Yes, there's a lowest weight, so
but there is no upper weight as such for you to set that target and know. You know, so some people might not know what their really healthy range is unless you go on any of the calorie county type apps, BMI and all of that on the apps, and kind of find out and work out what your healthy range would be. Or either that or seeing your GP, because obviously your GP can tell you all that stuff as well.
Absolutely, I'd recommend seeing the GP. I will link down below the BMI calculator from the NHS in the UK. That's what we use when we're looking at BMIs, because our targets are very much linked to BMI. But what about, Rufus, if somebody comes and joins Slimming World at a particular weight and they only want to lose, say, 3 stone, even though they might be 15 stone overweight according to the BMI, if that person's happy just losing that 3 stone, I say just, 3 stone's a massive amount, but if they're happy losing that 3 stone and then, you know, whatever that is, getting their BMI from the morbidly obese to the obese or whatever reason they've got, should Slimming World then say to them, you've not done enough, you can't be a target member because you're still over this and over that and over the other?
No, I guess because they've lost, you know, obviously it's your own personal target, but for me, I still think that, you know, obviously everyone's view, you know, opinion is different, but I still think that for me, if I can't get myself into a kind of a lot healthier range than I've ever been in, then why am I kind of doing this? Because I want to be, you know, I don't want my body to have to work harder and sort of punish my body just from all this extra weight. I want to, you know, get all the benefits of being healthier and not just, you know, losing a few stone and then going, all right, that's it for me. But I know people, like I say, lots of people that start Slimming World, they set mini goals and they get to that goal and then they go, right, okay, now I'll change it and move the goalpost, and then I'm going to go for that. So it doesn't look like you've got so far to go all in one go. Yeah,
I think there's 3 interim target bits you can put in the back of your book.
But I do think that there should be some kind of like guidelines so that people can, because not everyone's aware of it and they don't know what the healthy range for them would be. I said, so if there was some kind of guidelines, that would be good. Even if there was just something on their app or online somewhere on Slimming World.
A bit of guidance to help people choose
because otherwise you don't know what the healthy range is. A lot of people are not sure.
Yeah. I'm going to put my glasses on because I can't see my list. That's how you know I'm getting old, Rufus. My 5th place item is the lack of dietary requirements and the variety within the Slimming World. Not just their products, but across everything, their recipes and everything. Because I'm gluten-free, and I have been for a long, long time. And I know Byron and Shell and Slimming World Vegan. There's a lot of vegan people that have said the same things about the vegan meals and the vegan options and the recipes online, but also the gluten-free options as well. I don't think there's a single item in the Slimming World Iceland range that is actually gluten free. There are some that contain minimal amounts of gluten, but there'll be something in the sauce, a little bit of thickening agent, or there'll be something that contains a gluten-based product. That is even within the rice dishes that there are. And that's without even going on about the lack of other dietary requirements. So there's nothing that's halal or kosher. I understand the reasons for that because they have to be prepared in specialist factories. But also, I was doing the nightshade diet, which means I couldn't have potatoes, peppers, tomatoes, what else? Aubergines. There was quite a list.
But many of their meals, like say, especially the ready meals or even the recipe books, all of them, loads have got tomatoes.
Yeah, you start with tomatoes as your base. I understand why that is, because it's a relatively low calorie, relatively tasty and easily accessible food. So I do get it. But the hi-fi bars, there are some gluten-free options, but I can't have the hi-fi bars because of my diabetes, and there's actually a fair bit of sugar in a hi-fi bar.
I think you could have the fruit and nut ones, but also the fruit and stuff that would have been dried has also been dried with sugar and so on.
It's within your allowance within Slimming World, within your Healthy Extra B. But I have to monitor my sugars very, very carefully. So that isn't something I can have. No. But the wraps aren't gluten-free. A lot of their products aren't. And when you look on the app, there is a real lag in getting gluten-free items that you can find in a supermarket, because their free from sections are growing every day. Thankfully, we're in a growth period for that. But them getting them onto the app so we can check the sins is really delayed a lot in some cases. And sometimes I've had to make a best guess where I've had like the
something else, a different
fins
roll,
or something,
something else
which
instead
isn't quite. It's not on the app. It's not considered a Healthy Extra B, but I've had that because the one that is a Healthy Extra B is basically eating cardboard. It's inedible.
Some of them are not nice, are they?
No, some of the wraps and things. Luckily, there is Warburtons are doing great with this.
Yeah, thanks
bringing
to
out
Warburtons.
lots and lots of really tasty gluten-free products.
I know,
But Slimming World, I just think they need to catch up. And just even if it was only a rotating range of maybe 1 or 2 gluten-free meals, at least there'll be some options.
Yeah.
But there's just a lack. So yeah, Byron and the vegans, honestly, I feel I really, really do. Right then, what's your next?
My next
one
is weigh-in habits. On my weigh day, if I, for me, don't get weighed in until 4 o'clock, granted, like I say, I fast during the day, so that's fine for me, but many people will get up, go, oh, if I drink too much, you know, I'm going to weigh heavier, so I'm not going to drink too much, and I'm probably not going to eat my lunch, even though I get weighed in at 4, so I'm probably not going to have my lunch. So yeah, or make sure, you know, if I haven't had a poo in the last couple of days, I'm going to take something to help me go toilet, just so that when you get in and get weighed on the scale, that you see what you want to see on the scale.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think a lot of people do this. And like I say, I'm probably fairly lucky that I fast during the day, so I don't focus on food during the day. I focus on it late in the day. But I say a lot of people, I used to do this before I was fasting.
Yeah.
I used to do that, and I would literally, you know, go a majority of the day and not eat much and not drink a lot until I've been weighed. And I think many people still do it now.
Yeah, I think it must be really difficult if you're getting up early in the morning, going to work, having a full day at work, then coming home, picking up the kids, and then going to your Slimming World group. You've done that whole day before you've had a meal, or if you've only had a nibble of something. That must be really, really difficult, because there's later groups as well.
Oh,
like
yeah,
there's
definitely.
Where we go, there's a 5:30 and a 7:30, I think, or a 7 o'clock group.
Yeah.
But the later ones can go as late as 8 or 9 at night, I believe.
Yeah.
That's an awfully long time to go through your day.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do that anymore. I don't do that. Like, if I want a couple of coffees during the day, I'll have a couple of coffees. And I always think, well, actually, in a week's time, it will all balance out. And because we focus on a month, it doesn't really matter over the course of
But this is another
week.
thing I think that people don't talk about, and they don't tell other people about it in group, but I think a lot of people do this.
Yeah, no, well, we've seen people talk about it in the Losers Club that we do. We've seen people talk about it online.
You know, if you are someone that's relatively new on Slimming World and you're watching this, I would, like I say, if that worries you, you know, before you get weighed, you could eat the same lunch on that particular day every week. And if you're eating the same thing on that day every week, the same thing and the same amount, I said, then you'll be fine that day.
Yeah.
You have a certain amount of drinks that day, and then your lunch and whatever you have, and then if you're doing the same every week, you should still get a weight loss.
Out.
Yeah, it'll still work.
But that could be like, you could have overnight oats or something every day.
That's it.
Every weigh day. So that could be a different flavour, different yogurt going in, different whatever. Your lunch could be, you know, a jacket potato salad and something. That could be tuna or ham or whatever, cheese or whatever vegan options. It could be anything like that. Yeah. That would be enough to get you through. Yeah. And also, you can have, I'm having my 3 cups of coffee or my 2 cans of pop or whatever it is you want.
Well, then you're not going without.
Yeah. But as long as you have that same every week. But, I mean, you say that, Rufus, the weigh day habits, but you do weigh in the same outfit every week.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Although yours has downsides. But I will say, on this, there is we used to go to a group, and it was amusing because there was a lady there who went for her very first time. She went in a particular outfit, and every week she wore that exact same outfit week in, week out.
And she shrunk.
Yeah, as her weight dropped off, it looked like the clothes were just growing. They were getting baggier and baggier to the point where it was like, you need to be really careful.
You look like you're wearing somebody else's clothes,
Everything now is hanging off you. Yeah. So, you know, maybe you need to
just
adjust that a little bit.
Downsize your clothes,
but I will say, I am very aware, I always wear sort of cotton trousers, but as we're going into winter months, I'm very aware that, am I going to wear my jeans one day? Yeah. And I think, do you know what? It doesn't really matter. I'm going to wear my jeans. It doesn't matter. Yeah. That fluctuation will pass. But it's that same thing, isn't it? Where you see people almost stripping down to their bra and knickers at group or down to their boxers. Yeah. We haven't quite seen that, but almost.
I've done that. I've gone
what? Where was I?
In the colder weather. If I've always getting weighed in my shorts, I'll wear jeans on top of them, and then take my jeans off when I'm there, get on the scale, get weighed, and then put my jeans back on.
I thought you were going to say you've got weighed in just your boxer shorts. I was like, what?
No, but I said, you know, because it create, like I say, all of these things that we do to see what we want to see on the scale because it's that important, and it makes us do some really strange things.
It does. I will say that ties in amazingly. This wasn't planned with my fourth item, which is the focus on loss. Now, this is something which the new group changes have really brought to the fore, where if you've had a maintain or a bit of a gain, you're vaguely even mentioned now. It's almost like you don't exist within the image therapy portion. And it's like, oh, if you need help, raise your hand. It's really now changed the ethos. The focus now just seems to be, if you've lost weight, we'll talk to you, we'll get you advice. 1 week I lost 9.5 pounds. I'd eaten the same food that week as I did the week before and the 2 weeks after. The week before I maintained, the 2 weeks after I gained. Why was I spoke to on the week that I lost the 9.5? It was a random fluke. We don't know what it was. It was just a very odd occurrence. But I was saying to people, I'm not celebrating this because it's a blip. It's a one-off.
It's your body,
So why was I deemed worthy of being spoken to and asked my advice and how I did it on that 1 week, when all 4 weeks in August I've eaten 100% on plan and 100% within my sin allowance, 100% weighing and measuring my healthy extras, because that's how we do it.
Same meals, same everything. And
how is it 1 week? I'm now, Lisa's lost the most this week. Let's talk to Lisa. Lisa, how did you do it? What advice would you say? There's new people here. Isn't that amazing? Everybody in the room is gasping, jaws on the floor, all of that.
That week that I gained, and you lost 9.5
and it was like, this doesn't make any sense.
No,
it's just a thing. But it also means if you gain, there's no help.
Nope.
So you don't get, Rufus, you've had a little gain this week. Are you okay with that? Is there this? Is there anything? Can you identify if there's something you've not done that you would normally do? If you've had an unexpected gain, again, last week just gone, I was expecting maybe a maintain, but I was expecting, to be honest, a pound or two off, and I came in with another gain. Eating the same healthy food, eating exactly the same, calories monitored, everything monitored. I was expecting a loss. There was no mention of, well, Lisa, you've had another gain. Is this just your body? Because you've said in group that your body does strange things sometimes. Or, did last week's gain of £3, did that throw you off? It does really seem that Slimming World have done a bit of a 180, because it used to be that if you were having consistent losses like you would, then it would be, Rufus has lost another £2. Well done. Rufus has lost another £1. Well done. And then you were just like moving on. So it really has flipped that, which is a change. It's not something I would particularly like, but there's no help for people with eating issues or disordered eating. There's nothing there. But also, I do have a question. Is it better if you lose £0.5 a week consistently every week on average for 3 years, where you lose that weight steadily? It's a steady decline. Your body's got time to adjust. You've got time to adjust. You're having those nice steady losses, getting your body into its nice range. You haven't done a great big jump, so there's no differences in metabolism or anything like that. Your body's not going into starvation mode. You're just slowly taking the weight back down to get to that healthy range, say. Is that better? Or is it better to lose 5 stone 8 in 6 months? Because that's what it equates to. That's £78. And the way Slimming World are now, it would be focused on that 5 stone 8 in 6 months. Oh my God, aren't you amazing? I mean, I think you pretty much did that, didn't you? Oh my God, it's amazing. It's wonderful. It's amazing. But there's another thing here as well. And Jane Day mentioned this in her couple of recent videos. We focus on Slimmer of the Week and Slimmer of the Month. And it's about how much you've lost, if you've lost or maintained the week before. So again, as Jane calls it, Slimmer of the Fortnight, really. And everyone applauds that. But if you're that person who for 156 weeks has lost consistently £0.5 every single week, where's your Slimmer of the 3 years award? Where's your recognition? If you have done that every single year, especially now they're not on the tablets, now they're on the paper. Before, your consultant was able to say, Rufus, in the last 9 weeks, you've lost every single week. Or in the last 12 weeks, in 3 months, Rufus, you've lost every single week. And now you've had to maintain. Is there anything you've done differently this week? No. Oh, well, then it must be we've gone from that now.
Yeah.
Those days are gone, and it is now just focused on the results on the scales for that one day. So again, I think that ties back into people being even more under pressure to get that result.
And
on
if
the
they were
scales.
using their tablets, often they'd go, "Oh look, there's a symbol here. It's your birthday this month."
Yep. Or it's your birthday this week, or you've had
Yeah.
your birthday this week, or whatever, or you've been away on holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of that. We're getting into the mid-ranges now. It's starting to get spicy. So what is your third, the midpoint of your mini rant?
Well, the third one is it's the same thing every week. So the same things get spoken about, the same things. I mean, like, there is a group chat that happens about an odd subject, but most of all the other stuff that happens when we go in, we get weighed, it's the same thing. I don't feel like I'm learning anything new from being there and staying, especially not to the image therapy, because it's not, before I would be staying because I'm helping other people and giving other tips and things to other people. But I really don't feel like I'm getting any other benefit from being there, listening to the same thing and then going, I know what's coming next. I know what she's going to say next. Okay, this is the bit where we do the raffle. This is the bit where they've done Slimmer of the Week, and talking about, occasionally you'll hear about what happened on a podcast or something. Maybe everyone should go and listen to the podcast on the app. But other than that, it's just, if I didn't stay to image therapy 1 week, I just went and got weighed and left, I don't think that I would be missing anything. I really don't.
It is, the new format especially is very formulaic, and I understand. Now again, this is no comment about our particular consultant. Our consultant is very new, but all of the consultants seem to be doing it in the same way. And we've certainly seen that with people online that are talking about, the way their consultant does it. It seems to be now this very, very fixed way of doing it. So you welcome everybody in the room. You say thank you to your social team. Thank you, everybody. Give them a round of applause.
They thank the target
Then
members.
you thank the target members. You name check them. So thank you to whoever, Bob, and Bob. Well done to Bob. I don't know why there's so many Bobs as target members, but there you go. So you thank everybody, and you say, you're our icons, you're our mascots, as you call them. You're the ones that we need to come to for advice. You do that, then you go, okay, and now we've got some company news. So the newsletter this week the magazine, has this in it this month. The podcast is this. Have a look on online. What's it called? Helpline Online. Have a look at that. This is what's on there. And then, we're going to look at some awards. We give the awards out, and now we go through, these people have lost this, these people have lost that, these people have lost that. If you need any help, thank you very much. Let's do Slimmer of the Week, and now the raffle. We'll see you next week. And it's literally week by week. It's exactly the same format. For me, my midpoint, so number 3 in my list, is 20th century thinking. Now, Jane's video was really interesting because she talked about the raffle. And how do young people get excited about a raffle? And certainly that's one of the things that's included on my list is the raffle. But importantly, there's a massive lack of diversity within Slimming World. I know there are some gay and lesbian and bisexual members, and I know there are gay, lesbian, bisexual consultants. I don't know if there's any openly trans consultants. I've never come across one. I see from the magazine, from the photos, from the videos, there's an awful lot of white people. There's an awful lot of slightly older white people in their 40s, 50s and 60s that are consultants and that are featured in the magazines. There's a lot of people without any visible disabilities. All of that, I increasingly find a little bit uncomfortable. As a trans person with ADHD, with fibromyalgia, with diabetes, with all of those health concerns, depending on how you look at it, I do consider myself to be a disabled person. But I am, on my good days, when I'm not having my wobbles and crashing out at group and falling out my chair nearly, I am okay-ish most weeks to stand on the scales long enough to balance. There's been a couple of times, hasn't there, recently, where my fibre has been really bad, that even just standing there, I've had to kind of go, oh, I'm wobbling, I'm wobbling.
We did have someone a while ago, I think that, where they were deaf.
Yep.
But I haven't seen them.
No.
Like I say, I think they might have been there for not even a month.
No, there's been a few.
And they haven't come back.
A few deaf people that we've seen over the years have sort of come in and then left because, again, the way it's set up isn't really designed to help people with deafness. Jane talks about the problems, and so does Shao, B357. They both talk about the issues with being a blind person within group and how it's difficult. And even if you are a Braille reader, there's difficulties around that. Jane said, you know, a lot of the information is available on a CD. Who the hell's got a CD player anymore? Have we got a CD player anywhere? I don't think we've got one in the... the Xboxes and PlayStations have got them. So that would be it. Otherwise, I couldn't play a CD. So I do think it's
can I have it on a Blu-ray?
Yeah. Well, no. Like, can I get it on an MP3 download? You know, and even an MP3 download is, you know, old-fashioned these days. So I do think there's a lack of keeping up with the times in terms of that. But also, I mentioned the raffle, teas and coffees. It's a little bit... I don't know. I know if you've got people, it's a refreshments thing. But again, it does feel a little bit like, a little bit old hat. The biggest problem I have with this 20th century thinking is we now live in an age where an awful lot of us have a computer in our pocket that is more powerful by many, many times than the ones who put men on the moon. We have so much computing power at our fingertips in our phones. Why is Slimming World so behind the times with that? When I weigh in, it gets written in my book. I've got an app on my phone, the Slimming World app. If I want to update my phone with my weigh-in, I've got to go into the app, manually change all of the figures and put that in. Why doesn't it automatically send it to my phone? Why doesn't the app update? Why isn't there some way of the scales talking to it and having that sort of dialogue? Why isn't my Galaxy Watch, that obviously for this video I'm not actually wearing, it's on charge, but I've got a Galaxy Watch, you've got a Fitbit thing, haven't you? Why aren't those link-upable, whatever the word is, with the Slimming World app? Why couldn't we do Body Magic and have a little thing either on the app or with our wearable that we press and it goes, okay, Body Magic session 3 in week 1 starting now, and off we go on our little walk round the block.
Because at the end of the day, if it's not for things like that, I could go in one week and just say, oh yes, I've walked this amount of miles this week, so
where's my Body Magic award? All of that.
And I might not have done any of it.
No. We talk about steps sometimes. We talk about our step count and all of that. Or we've got my steps in. We know how important it is to move. Even I recognise that. And I have difficulty sometimes with mobility. But where is the wearable app situation? Where is, like, you don't, please, Slimming World, if you're listening to this or watching this, please do not come up with your own gadget. We don't need any more bloody gadgets.
But still,
we've got
like
enough
I say,
wearable this, that and the others.
It would at least show that, you know, if there was a step counter of such on the app and people would go on and be able to use it, and you would see that, you know, if there was a way of linking it up, you would see that people are really trying to, you know, make their health better and move more and do more, and it would probably encourage people more to do that.
And even with the food,
you know,
even with the food diary thing that's online, there's a version on Helpline online, but there is a food scanner in your phone, and you can set it. I'm having this as a lunch, healthy, whatever, as a lunch, dinner, tea. They could go one step further and really, really encourage us to track a lot of that information. We all know. With Slimming World, the first thing a consultant says if you're having a bit of a wobble is, do you need a food diary? Why not have it on the app and say, well, I tell you what, Rufus, could you complete the online food diary for me? Just take your phone, scan everything. If you're eating a banana, just say you're having one banana, take a picture or whatever, scan it on the app. We've got this technology now. I could take a picture of this mug and it will tell you what the logo is, tell you where I bought the mug. All of that's available through the internet now.
But
why is there are doing that?
Apps where literally you could take a photo of your whole meal and it should tell you, like there are some apps that will try and tell you how many calories that are in that one meal. There's obviously no way of tracking that amount.
And there's no way of doing that within the Slimming World because things are often, you know, a Slimming World sausage versus a, I don't know, Richmond Hill sausage or something. They look very similar, so there'd be no way of doing that. But why haven't we got even the next level of apps? Even to the point of, why couldn't I, at home, pre-order my Slimming World hi-fi bars, my magazine, all of that from my consultant, and just do just do a click and collect.
To do an order and then you
I'm
just collect it when you get to group.
These, because there's been times, especially when I did eat the hi-fi bars with the gluten-free, there'd be times where they'd be out of stock for that consultant because she's had a run on them, especially if they were a popular flavour.
But they might be able to make sure that those are there when you get there.
If I could order them on the app, if it was, say...
A bit like you're ordering a countdown kind of thing, and then you can go, well,
why can't I order a countdown?
For next week, can I order these packs of hi-fi bars, and then next week they're kind of already been put aside for you.
Absolutely. Why can't I order a countdown online? Why can't I decide all of these things? Especially because we know motivation is something that's really difficult for us to keep going with. If we're having one of those days where we're both like, oh, we're doing this, I'm totally 100% on plan. I tell you what, should we be proactive today? Should we order our hi-fi bars, our hi-fi wraps, our whatever? Should we get that countdown today? Or it's payday today. Well, I tell you what, I've got there's my rent money, there's the mortgage, there's the gas bill.
Oh yeah.
There's this one. It works out. I've got a few little pounds. I tell you what, I get a countdown this week because it's payday. So we'll do that, and that. Why don't we do that? Why isn't that option available to us? I just think you've got a very basic, bare bones app.
Yeah.
There's so much other tech that's available that you could integrate, and I know that some of the older members may struggle with that, but if you are genuinely, if Operation Joy is about trying to attract the next generation of slimmers to your company, why are we not using the technology that they use every single second of the day?
Can I just add as well that we've been doing Slimming World now on and off for about 9 years. And in all that time, I remember that you had the ability to put in what you was eating that day on the app and to put that in there so you can track it yourself. And we've been able to do that all that time, and nothing else has changed within that.
No.
It's always been there since we remember how it was. And like I say, there's been no improvement on that. It's just you can go and keep a diary of your own of what you've had, but that's literally it.
I'm not being funny. We live in the age of AI. We live in the age of ChatGPT. There's plenty of videos where ChatGPT chooses my weight loss journey for the next week. We've seen those videos. People are using it to vary and have a variety of Slimming World meals. Why isn't something like that available? We don't have to go the full AI route because I'm not a great fan of AI. But why don't we have something that is a bit more modern, a bit more 2025? I mean, for God's sake, before we know it, it'll be 2030. Are we still going to be doing this, manually changing our weight and inputting it and relying on our books?
But I don't even, like say, occasionally you will change the weight, obviously,
every week.
And you know what? Mine says 0. I think I've never changed mine since, or I think when I'd gone into it, the app, I'd put in the weight I started at.
It probably says the same.
And it says the same still now.
Yeah. Whereas mine, I do track it each week, just so I've got that record. I can see where my pattern is.
Yeah. Whereas
within that, I also think where it says if you've had a gain or a loss or a maintain, where it gives you the option to put a smiley face or a frowny face or whatever, why doesn't that signpost exactly to your consultant? So that they can say, oh look,
are you the only person that would see it as well?
Yeah. Lisa's put here that she's gained a pound, and it says that she's really unhappy with that. The comment is 100% on plan all the time, weighed and measured everything, feeling really disgruntled or feeling really lost. why can't your consultant see that? Or we can do some GDPR stuff and all of that. It can all be built in. We can agree to it and thumbprint it and all of that stuff. Why can't our consultant see that and then proactively reach out? It feels like the whole world is in a blooming Tesla, an electric car, and Slimming World's in a horse and cart bringing up the rear. It really does feel like that sometimes. Yeah. We're getting spicy now. Rufus, what is your number 2, your second most hated thing about Slimming World as a whole?
No motivation. So what I mean by that is that I will go to group, and to start with, I felt quite motivated in the very beginning. You know, you get bigger losses when you first join, and you know, your body kind of goes into your body goes into shock a little bit, like, oh wow, I'm losing all this weight, and you do really good. And then over time it does slow down, and at that point some people will, you know, start lacking motivation to kind of do better and change little things as they go, whether it be slightly downsizing portions as your weight goes down. But often some people will rely on, you know, going to group and having the image therapy to feel motivated for the next week ahead so that they do really well. Well, it's a bit like shock horror. You know, if you want to be motivated for the week, you need to find it within yourself, not at group, because the likelihood is that, you know, for the few weeks when you first start, you might feel motivated and because it's all brand new and all of that. But after a little while, you start to find that if you're not feeling motivated from the image therapy, because it's now a group chat and it's not just a, you know, you don't have like a minute's time with a consultant anymore and all of that, and individually. So you might not feel motivated that week, or you might have had a real struggle that week. And how are you going to feel motivated then for the week forward, you know, moving forward? And I think that if you don't kind of, for me, I don't go to group to feel having someone else there make me feel motivated for my week ahead. I make myself motivated. I give myself consistent changes and routine every day, and because of the consistency I have with that and just keep doing the same things over and over that work, that makes me motivated. I make myself that way. Because if I rely on someone else, sounds awful, but I felt so disappointed with the new changes and the group chats and all of that, and someone at the end of a session saying to me, I hope everybody's feeling motivated for the week ahead. And obviously maybe this is how every consultant is told to, you know, do the new, you know, format now. But for me, I don't feel motivated at all from any of it. And I've only felt really this way since the new change happened. And I then, you know, people then I've had a good weight loss, and they'll say to me, well, wow, what did you do this week? And, you know, I bet you'll feel, you know, you're really motivated for the week ahead and you're going to have a fantastic week. And I go, yes, because I make myself that way. I motivate myself. And I think if you find that within yourself and give yourself consistent little things, like I watched another video of somebody else that's lost a lot of weight over a period of time.
We'll link it up in the corner.
And she talks about making consistent little changes mandatory. So I get up, you know, if I didn't want a bowl of fruit every day, I know that's my treat, so I make sure I have that every day. And I have certain amount of speed options of fruit and vegetables every day, and I make those mandatory in my life. And it's just making consistent little steps to better yourself that help you stay motivated. If you don't do those and you go, do you know what, today I'm not going to go around the block today because it's raining, or, you know, it might not rain all day that day, but you just already made an excuse as to why you're not going to go around the block, and just do some extra steps. So if you consistently make these little steps all the time, you're probably going to get on a lot better and feel quite motivated from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, I've got absolutely nothing to add to that. I agree completely to that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My second most hated, now listen, I'm going to get a little bit spicy here. This is where things start really heating up. This is like 2.5 chilies on the chili
Getting excited.
on the spicer meter. Yeah. This is not aimed at any consultant that we have ever had, has left, has come back, whatever. This is not about anyone in particular. But my second biggest peeve is that anyone almost can be a Slimming World consultant. Now, obviously, you need to have been a Slimming World member, you need to have lost weight, be close to or have hit your target, maintained it, all of that.
Yeah.
You need to have done all of those things. You need to have followed the plan.
Yeah.
But if you are in that group, and there's probably across the country, there'll be hundreds of thousands of people, if not more, who are in that category, who are losing weight, you know, following the plan. You can rock up to Slimming World, pay them your £1,800, whatever it is, for your franchise, your £1,500.
Yeah.
And as long as you are the right sort of person, you can be a consultant. There is no nutritional basis, no nutritional training, there is no counselling background, there is no details about, you know, being aware of diversity in terms of the Disability Equalities Act, the Equal Opportunities Act. There is nothing there that you have to be aware of about who is there. There's no advanced training, or at least not that we've ever been told of.
No.
So anyone can do that. Now, what that means is when you go, you get this thing constantly of, this is how the plan works. We read this through. Every consultant reads the same thing. But when you get weighed in, there isn't a thing about the nutritional information.
No.
They don't teach us how to be healthier. They teach us how to work the Slimming World plan. Because that is their business model. And I get it entirely. I understand. This is not a health movement. This is a business selling a gimmick, as Byron called it, which is the Slimming World plan. This is not the NHS, the doctors, the health service. This is something that we sign up and buy as a business. I get that that's within its limits, but if you are not looking outside of the Slimming World plan at things like nutritional information, macros, is every calorie the same as every other calorie? Is there actually a difference between how our bodies work? If you are not going outside a plan and looking at that, then you don't learn anything about how to be healthy as a holistic person.
Yeah. So what about like things like speed vegetables? And why Slimming World called them speed vegetables? Because obviously there is no such thing as a speed vegetable, but these are just lower calorie choices of vegetables that you could eat more of, so you can fill your plate up and eat lots of them for less calories.
Yeah, so I'll come on to that in my most hated point. But there's also this thing of, I understand that the Slimming World plan is a simplified version of macros, calorie counting, all of that. This is why I work it. This is why it works for me. I am not somebody, whether it's because of my neurodivergence, whatever it is, I am not somebody that can sit there and scan every single thing. Oh, I'm about to drink this cup of coffee. Right, let me just think. The coffee itself has probably got maybe 4 calories per spoon. So there's 2 spoons of coffee in that. So that's 8 calories. My milk, I've got my oat milk. So that works out at that many calories. My sweeteners are 0 calories, but my coffee syrup is 2 calories per 100 ml. I've had 2 dashes. That works out. I am not somebody that can do that. I forget. It's the reason why we have never filmed a what I eat in a day video for, like, we've never done a week because we forget. I forget. I think it's really important to remember, if you are going to Slimming World, and please do listen, it works for us. We've lost combined 13 stone nearly between the two of us, something like that. It really does. The plan does work, but your consultant has not got a medical background, a biochemical background. They are not nutritionists. They are not counselors. They are just people that are selling a product, and that product is the Slimming World healthy eating gimmick, as Byron called it. So do please remember that. It does work. The gimmick works, but do just remember the people that are standing up in front of that group every week, they are consultants in name only. This was something that Jane covered. They are consultants for that business. They're not health experts.
No.
just before we go on to each of our most hated, this is where it's going to get super spicy, most hated things about Slimming World, we just want to remind you of it's time to hydrate. Do please make sure that you're hydrating. This again is something that is really important. It helps you stay regular with the movements.
I know.
It
Sorry,
helps in so many different ways.
Most of our videos, especially the live, I'm always drinking. So.
We are always. Yeah, I'm always drinking on the videos. Currently, I've got my coffee. I've got a litre thing of water sat here with a little bit of squash in it. I've got a Pepsi Max sat on the desk as well. So do make sure you are hydrating. You probably need more fluids in you than you realise. So there you go. That's just a little reminder.
You might get a little constipated.
You might do, yeah. We don't talk about that till we go to the museum. Yeah.
I know, right.
And this is also a perfect time to say, if you haven't done already, please do hit the like button, the subscribe button, ding your bell so that YouTube sends you the notifications for when we go live or upload a video. When do we go live, Rufus?
So Wednesday, 6:30 p.m.
And that is UK time. Do double check if you're outside of the UK.
Yeah.
Right then. Going on to our spiciest takes of all. Are you ready for this? You might need to get your yogurt sauce ready to cool down after this hot and spicy triple extra hot curry. This is the jalapeno of spicy takes. Go for it. What is your most hated thing about Slimming World?
That if you do the plan and follow it exactly as the book says, that you are 100% guaranteed to lose weight.
Oh. Yep.
Which isn't correct, because when we went back to group, I lost weight for the first 6 weeks. Obviously, I'm still losing weight, but you had a complete different result in the first 6 weeks than me.
Yeah, for 6 weeks, following the plan, 100% weighed and measures under my sins. I gained weight for 6 whole weeks.
6 weeks, yeah.
I know. You were doing Slimming World, I was doing Fatter World. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
But following the plan.
Yeah.
So why is that so bad for you, do you think? Why is that your most hated above all else?
Because, not everybody is like myself. I am probably a majority of people that go to Slimming World. But you will get people that have, it could be down to being diabetic. It could be down to any multiple, types of health issues going on. There could be many reasons as to why someone isn't dropping weight the same as the majority of people. So I think, even could be down, yours was down to the medication. That the medication wasn't working very well, so they had to change your medication, and all of a sudden your weight started dropping. So it's like I say, there's just many reasons, and I think sometimes it could be down to, I think when I have very, very first went to Slimming World, it does take a little while to get used to just doing the plan itself. It takes a couple of weeks to really get into it. But I think other than that, yeah, you're not guaranteed. As much as they say 100% guaranteed, you're not. Like I say, I do the plan 100%. I don't see the point of doing the plan, half-heartedly.
You've had weeks. It's not just me and my
I've had
body.
weeks, like I say, a week where I ate exactly the same. Last week when I had a 1.5 pound gain, which is like unusual for me, and then this week losing £3. So, and I ate pretty much the same type of thing that I did last week, because we try and sort of keep on top of knowing exactly quantities and all the things that we eat. So it's all been planned out for us. So we do all of that, but just sticking to it, and yeah, you don't always get the result that you want. Like I say, I've had a few gains, I think a couple of maintains, and sometimes it might be I didn't poo, or I didn't,
you didn't drink enough.
One week I probably didn't drink quite enough because I don't feel hungry, so my body sometimes forgets I need to drink. So I, on purpose, try and get myself to drink a lot more than I used to. But yeah, if you don't drink enough, so if you're not drinking loads of water on plan, you might find that you get constipated, because apparently, I didn't know, I've learnt that you can eat too much fibre and then get bunged up again. So you might not see what you want on the scale, because you might not have, you know, been as regular as maybe you have been at one time.
Yeah, and I do think that focus, again, it comes back to what I was saying about the focus on loss.
Yeah.
I do think that idea of it being 100% guaranteed. I know previously a consultant would say to me, there must be something you're doing wrong. There must be some sins creeping in, or there must be something you're not weighing and measuring.
You're not counting something.
Yeah, you're not counting something, because it is a guaranteed weight loss if you stick to it 100%. And there wasn't. It was an underlying health condition. And we've even spoken to somebody in Slimming World sort of head office, haven't we? And said to them, look, sometimes telling people it's 100% guaranteed, when I've sat there 100% on plan, weighed and measured, counted sins, healthy extras, everything exactly the way, textbook, that it says to do it, and I've had a gain. You saying it's 100% guaranteed, well, it isn't, because I have other things going on in my body. It might be 100% guaranteed for 70% of people, but that isn't 100% guaranteed for 100% of people.
It was preventing your weight to drop. I said, and
even now, look at this last month.
I said, if you didn't look at the bigger picture, for a lot of people, they would have gone, right, sod it. Why am I even bothered? Why am I even here doing this? What's the point of me going to Slimming World if I can't lose weight and I'm eating everything that's on plan exactly, you know, as it says in the book, what you should eat, and, you know, only eat till you're full and all of that stuff, and it still wasn't working.
That did happen. We the last time, not the last, but one time that we were on Slimming World, I left. I literally had enough of that constant. There must be something you're not doing right, and feeling that pressure of I am eating everything that Slimming World is telling me to do. I'm doing all of the things, and yet I am coming in with a gain week in, week out. A little loss here, then followed by a gain. A little loss, again, with no routine to it, no understanding.
I know how upsetting that was for you.
It was heartbreaking. It was soul destroying. Getting on the scales, coming in,
the weight going up.
I've been super on plan this week. I know I've done it exactly by the book. Oh, why is the scales not reflecting
we
that?
Was eating
heartbreaking.
The same meals, same size meals, both of us.
Yeah.
And you just weren't seeing the good results on the scale.
And I think for some people, that can really cause some psychological damage. And again, this goes back to it where consultants aren't trained in counselling or picking up some of those signs and cues, but it can really add to some psychological damage. I know it did with me, and every time I've ever left a Slimming World group for whatever reason, that has sent me back into those really negative food issues.
And from that, if I remember right, you will then start cutting out certain things out of what you were eating. I was eating the same as I usually do, and you were cutting out things like I won't have my bread allowance, I won't have my healthy bee, I won't have this,
I won't have any sins,
and I won't have any sins, and your weight still wasn't dropping.
No.
So it just become
unhealthy.
It was just a really unhealthy way of sort of like just every day eating less and less to find that you didn't get the results.
That was a little bit spicy, I've got to say. This might be even hotter though, so get ready, get those flame retardant gloves on, get ready. This is going to be spicy. The number one thing I hate most about Slimming World is the cult of Slimming World. Byron touched on it in his video, but I don't think he went further enough, because for me, Slimming World can feel like I have joined a weird religious sect, an absolute cult. We've got our saviour as Margaret. I'm not going to say anything bad about her. By all accounts, she was an absolutely lovely woman, but she is our exalted leader. And underneath her, we've got our disciples, who is everybody in head office, the people that are pushing the plan and working the plan, and obviously they're the ones running the whole business. Underneath that, we've got our priests, our holy people, who are our consultants, and then our congregation is made up of our members. We've got our own Bible, the Slimming World Bible. How many times have you heard? We've even said it. Our Slimming World book's our Bible. Where's your Bible in the car? We've got our Bible. We've got our own language.
We have.
Sins, free food, speed food. As you said, there's no such thing as a speed vegetable, but there's speed food, sins, there's healthy extra A's, healthy extra B's, there's all of this, like a tweak. A tweak. What the hell is a tweak? All of this is completely within this Slimming World bubble. The consultants, the thing I said earlier about diversity, a lot of them seem cookie cutter cut.
Yep.
They're very similar types of people.
Well, they have things that they can say, and
Yep.
if you ask them, like, you know, the thing about if you cook a fruit, you know, in any way,
Mashed bananas.
but if you cook it in
Rhubarb.
any way, then change its form, then you have to sin it.
Yep.
But I have to cook rhubarb
Yep.
to be able to have it.
Yep. So there's other things there that don't really make sense. And in the magazine as well, everything in the magazine is 100% super positive, but they're very, very similar. Everyone in that magazine, all of the women are wearing 3/4 sleeves, pretty much. The men tend to be in long sleeves or longer t-shirts because we get loose skin. Like both of us are experiencing that at the moment. If you're somebody who is undergoing a significant weight loss, you get loose skin.
You will.
It's a thing that happens. It's not nice. It's not obviously very pleasant for us going through it, but it's something that happens.
But you know, it's that's
I
life, isn't it?
I personally think your loose skin is incredibly sexy because it's part of you that is your it's your war wounds, it's your progress, it's your
It is what it
you
is,
know,
isn't it?
your medal of honor. There is a very famous YouTuber called Obese to Beast, and he was even on the Ellen Show and all of this. He lost a huge amount of weight. He was offered skin removal surgery. He's never done it. He now makes a lot of videos about all sorts of different subjects. He does weight training videos, fitness videos.
He might have been slightly bigger than me. I think
he was
a bit bigger than me.
And he's gone down to a very, very you know, healthy weight zone, whichever way you look at it. And he's never had skin reduction surgery. And in all the years that he's kept that weight off and kept up his fitness regime, working out 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a week, his skin has never bounced back.
Yeah.
It's something that he talks about very, very openly. He's really is an inspiration for a lot of people. If you haven't seen his videos, go and watch them.
And if anybody, like I say, you want to sort of get some more motivation and all of that, I said he has a routine. He does the same thing, so he does his workouts and all these things, and has all his food planned out, and he just sticks to it. Yeah. And you just do it.
Yeah. But in that magazine, there's no mention of loose skin.
No.
There's no discussion about some of the more uncomfortable issues, the constipation, the dietary, the bowel issues. There's very little discussion around some of the negative things that as Slimming World,
you can see it on here, look.
Loose skin on your neck.
On my neck now coming,
There's no discussion about any of that. The reality of it is often glossed over, and it's kind of whitewashed with this whole idea of everybody being you know, photographed in mock living room settings as if they're in an IKEA catalogue or something,
and the dress
soft lighting, all of that. You know, the magazine is another promotional tool. It's a propaganda tool of the cult. There is nothing in there that says if you are struggling with loose skin, if you are struggling with chafing, if you are struggling with these other issues, this is something, you know, that you can do. Jane talked about in her video the seating. You've almost got assigned seats. Everybody sits in the same seats, like being at church.
Most weeks,
we all sit in that semicircle looking ahead at our priest, our group leader.
Did one week we're like, oh, there's seats over there, those ones are empty. We go, and they're like, no, you come sit, you have to sit with us.
Team points. So all of that is kind of built into it. And for us, we have been very open online about our criticism of Slimming World. The plan itself works.
It does, yeah.
It is an easy, simple to follow version of all of the health advice that's out there, simplified down and put into an easily digestible form. For me, that's what I need. This is the thing that helps. This is what gets me on my weight loss journey, is this particular type of plan. But if you disagree with it, you raise your hand in a Slimming World group meeting and you say, excuse me, can you explain about bananas? Excuse me, can you explain about, you know, why is an avocado sinned when it's healthy fat? Excuse me, can you explain about this, that and the other? What's the science behind it? If you start critiquing the plan a little bit too much,
they don't like it.
It causes ructions.
It does.
And I don't know whether the consultants are trained to kind of move on from that or whether there's a way, but they very rarely will engage with any kind of conflict about the way the plan works. But also, like other cults, I do find a lot of consultants secretly have their favourites. But like in a cult, you'll have those volunteers or those helpers. You call them, that, you know, step up and do some of those roles. Sometimes being a Slimming World member does genuinely feel like we are switching off our critical thinking brains when we enter the room. We sit there, we have this repetitive sermon that is the same every week.
Yep.
Even sins, do you know what I mean? Even the term sins reinforces that cult feeling. That is my most hated thing. However, I'm conflicted with it. Because this cult does work for me. It really does. It has worked for me.
That's what Jane says. It'll work if you work it, and it won't if you don't.
I know. It's a bit like, I feel almost like Tom Cruise on the couch with Oprah talking about Scientology. It really does feel sometimes like I'm you know, praising and recommending this cult type of behaviour. I've actually got the definition of a cult. Where is it? The definition of a cult, I asked the computer earlier. It says it is a particular system of religious worship, especially in reference to rites and ceremonies. Well, we've got the rites. Every week we go in, we get weighed, we do the same thing.
But when you joined, you would have signed your life away.
Yeah. The ceremony, you get your awards. Come up, Woman of the Year, Man of the Year, Couple of the Year, all of that. So we've got all of those. The other definition, and this is what, for me, hammers home the fact this is 100% a cult. And that is, it is a group or sect bound together by the veneration of the same thing. We, all of us that go to a Slimming World group, we are there to follow their Slimming World plan. We are there for the same thing. We are losing weight, following the scripture as laid out by Slimming World.
It is a Bible.
It really, really is. And as someone who's been sat here the whole video with a witch's hat pinned to my lapel and who has issues with organised religion, I can tell you that is my most hated part about Slimming World. Now do leave us a comment down below in the comment section about some of these points. We've raised 10 of them. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know your thoughts. We are going to do a video though on the flip side of this. The 5 things each of us really love most about Slimming World, because although we've got these negatives and there's a few things we would like to change, the Slimming World plan, it has worked for us, where every other diet plan, every other weight loss program hasn't. This has worked.
But I do think that this time round, sometimes it takes people a few times
to get it,
to really let it all sink in and make the plan work for you. It is literally what you allow into your life, and sometimes, like I say, some things that used to be trigger foods and things to us, we can no longer have in our life, and you have to make those changes yourself. So yeah,
in fact, there's a whole video about our triggers up on the channel. I'll link that up here and down below. We talk about our trigger foods, our trigger moods, and our trigger actions, so do check that one out as well. But as I say, we are going to follow this up in a couple of weeks time with our 10 things we love most about Slimming World. Do not let this video or the other ones doing the rounds put you off. The plan does work.
It does.
It's just there's some tweaks we'd like to make to it. Now obviously this video is our personal thoughts and feelings about our experiences of 9 years going to many different Slimming World groups with different consultants. This is not aimed at any one consultant we've ever had, currently have, or will ever have in the future. So please do not take this as it being aimed at anyone. The one thing we've never done though, we've never been just online members.
No, we haven't.
So our views, this whole video is skewed from our perspective. But if you're an online member, I'd be really interested to know whether you've got similar pet peeves, similar hatreds, because it might be very different.
It could be, like I say, it's something that we're possibly considering in the future.
Spoilers.
But yeah, like I say, if anyone's got any sort of tips or you really enjoy on, you know, doing the online.
No, go for the hatred thing, because this is the hatred. So if anyone's an online member.
So so
hang on, right, let me go back. Yeah, go.
So if anyone just does the online, like say if you've got any things or had any issues with the online, like I say, just put it in the comments and let us know, because it is something we are considering about possibly being online members in the future.
Spoilers.
So yeah,
spoilers.
Be interesting to know.
It's one thing we've never done. We've never done that. So, and obviously, this is very much geared at Slimming World. If you are following a different weight loss journey, you may have completely different pet peeves. Feel free to share those down below as well. If you're calorie counting, what do you hate most about calorie counting? If you're following one of the shake plans, what do you hate most about that? Do share your thoughts down below. But we will be back very soon with another video. And as we always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic.
And happy slimming.
Happy slimming. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.